Greetings, salutations, all that fun stuff. Going on a little road trip. Decided to turn this camera on because why not? Hope everyone's doing good. World. Glad tomorrow is Thursday. Would be better if it was Friday, I'm sure, but weekend's almost here. Sun is out, shining. God is great. God is good. And God gives us everything that we need. Maybe not everything that we want sometimes, but everything that you need, God will provide. So, just figured I'd turn this camera on here while I'm driving to my grocery store. Whole paycheck, as they call it, Whole Foods. So, where does everybody shop here? Where do you shop? Where do you get your groceries, and why? The co-ops. There's Farmers Market. You buy it online. Costco, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Albertsons, Safeway, Target, Walmart. Well, wherever you are, wherever you go, I hope God goes with you, and I hope you go with God in the end, in the beginning. That's where all of this started. That's where it all came from. Just remember, through the rough times, if you don't remember, I want you to remember. Life is hard. Life is meant to be hard. Life is meant to be a challenge. It's meant to be difficult. And the closer you get to God, obviously, the more challenges you're going to face and continue to face, the temptations, the things to overcome in this world that are always going to be there, the temptations, the sin. There's nobody except for Jesus Christ who does not have sin. We all have sin. We all need to fight that sin, and you have to recognize it first of all to fight it, right? Or else you're already losing. You're losing a battle without even knowing you're in the battle, I guess. So, some things coming up. Crip Rick and I are gonna do a music show here very soon. I'm looking forward to that. I've done a few test runs on my Spotify podcast. The podcast on Spotify, What is Truth? What is Truth podcast, I guess. But I think it's just What is Truth actually. But so been doing some things on there. There's a new, I don't know if it's a new feature that Anchor has, but you can actually create kind of like a music podcast, I guess. So what I've been testing out is playing a song, doing a little commentating on it, and then playing another song, et cetera, et cetera. It works great. If you're a Spotify Premium member, it's awesome because you get the whole song. If you're not, I think you just get like 30 seconds, and then it cuts to me gibbering and jabbering about that song. And I really have been trying to keep the commentary. I've done 2 episodes so far. The second one I think is more on point of what I really want to just give you guys like a history of the song, some details about the song, maybe some stories. So there's a couple great websites out there that really help you give you some of the background of these songs that we're listening to, and looking forward to that. And then, of course, what I'm hoping is at the end of each show, when the show that Rick and I do, which should be coming up soon, um, that then we'll do all of our post commentary and everything after that. But I really would like to keep it to just a song, background information about the song, next song, and then at the very end give you our thoughts. We'll just recap everything. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So I don't know if he's had a chance to really look at it yet, but hopefully this Sunday we will be able to record that. I'm hoping, and then hopefully Saturday I'm going to record another Gray Stage podcast. So that's those are some of the things coming up. I found this website called Spring. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but if you're ever interested in like making your own merchandise or having your own T-shirts, things like that, your own coffee mugs, look up Spring. It's an interesting um, website, and I noticed it on YouTube. There's a tons of websites have it, but or tons of YouTube channels have it. But the one that I noticed it on was on Geeks and Gamers, which is an awesome YouTube channel. And I noticed they have their merchandise where you can scroll at the bottom, and they got T-shirts, they got this, they got that. So um, I was kind of looking into it, and I used Crip Rick as my test subject to see how well that would work, and tested it out, and it seemed to work. Seems to work pretty darn well. So I was really happy with it. So based on that, what I did is I then created my own. No, I don't want to cancel that. Let's see, how can I close it? There we go. So then I created my own little channel, and so I've been adding some merchandise things on there just for fun, just to see what it looks like. So for my book, for my What Is Truth 9/11 book, and then I'm gonna add some stuff for the Gray Stage content too. So just for fun, that'd be interesting. What's nice is people can buy it. I don't have to like buy it in bulk and then store it in my office or in my garage or something. It's as people buy it, they just print it up through these sites. So we'll see how that goes. Another interesting experiment. Always trying to try things new to me. Obviously, not new to the YouTubers and the influencers and all those people, but I just thought it would be interesting to see what it would be like, what the dynamics are. And my friend Derek Sharp has made Curtain Jerker Designs. He has made pretty much all of my artwork for any of my music projects, for my books, some of the YouTube stuff too. So based on that, I just decided to go ahead and make a little merchandise store out of it. So next, I got to figure out how, like the geeks and gamers, how they get it to when you're on their YouTube channel and you're watching a video just like this. There's a little links, things that you can scroll back and forth on to see what type of merchandise that they have. So I just threw in a bunch of different things just to test it out. So we'll see how that goes. It's something about the monetization. My channel isn't monetized, so I don't know if I'm even going to be able to do what they do. But I know the link is live, and I'm going to start sharing that link out for anyone who is looking for some merchandise. Obviously, we'll have that out there just to see what that's like. Why not? If I'm doing these shows, while I'm doing the show, I can just wear a shirt or have a pillow or whatever. Some leggings for my wife, whatever. See if she will utilize them. Got to have the beanie. I'm thinking sweatshirt, things like that. So, anyways, just started messing around with that. Keep you posted on all that fun stuff. But I watched the new Spider-Man movie too. I thought it was really good. The Daily Bugle news reporter character, which is basically Alex Jones. I mean, he even says, ladies and gentlemen, it's Alex Jones." I'm like watching this great movie, Spider-Man. Was it Far Away from Home? Far From Home. Awesome movie. If you're a fan of the other Spider-Man movies, you'll definitely like this one too. I thought I could have used a little more Spider-Man in it, but aside from that, that Mary Jane, the one who plays Mary Jane, she is like the worst Mary Jane. And but then the one in the original Spider-Man series was pretty bad too. The red-haired girl, Kirsten Dunst, I think it was. So the one who plays Gwen in the Amazing Spider-Man series, she's probably the best female character I think in those Spider-Man movies. But oh, the Mary Jane, what I don't even think her name is really Mary Jane in this, right? It's some other name, but whatever it is, it's like she's just horrible. Cannot stand her at all. But um, love Tom Holland. The storyline was really good. I didn't notice like identity politics or anything like that in there, and I wonder if that's why the movie did so well. It really just stuck to what we all want to see. I think is just a great action-packed superhero movie. They did everything right. I've read the spoilers for the new Batman movie, and I'm really disappointed in what I read. It's just like it's a superhero movie, it's a comic book movie, it's an action movie. You have to have at the end the main fight, the fight between the superhero and the supervillain. Man of Steel did it perfectly. Man of Steel is another great superhero movie, I think. But if you don't have that fight at the end, a strong villain and a strong hero who at the end fight one on one, to me it's like I don't know. I'm kind of lost in it. It's just not It's a letdown. It's the whole Predator thing, right? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger taking on the Predator one on one at the very end. Martial arts movies, they usually do it right. The best martial arts movies do it right, and the worst don't. But here we go again with this Batman, and it just seems like I haven't seen it. Just read the if you go to moviespoiler.com, you can pretty much see the whole thing first and see if it's even worth running out to the theater for and blah blah blah. So instead of listening to what the critics say or what they don't say and everything, nobody wants to give away spoilers or anything. It's awesome that there's a website, moviespoiler.com. You just go there and you can get the whole movie first. And if it's great, if it's awesome, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it multiple times. But the fact that there's no big one-on-one fight again, it's kind of a bummer with these Batman movies. Um, that's what I loved about the Christopher Nolan series. The first one was awesome. The second one didn't have the big one-on-one fight, but the first one, Batman Begins, I thought was good. It had the big one-on-one fight. That's all I wanted. Boom, it's there. Um, the third one, The Dark Knight Rises, was okay. It was pretty good. It had the Bane. Batman and Bane fought twice, so that's cool. It wasn't really at the very end. It wasn't like the final scene of the movie, which is, I guess, just as a martial arts fan, that's what I'm really looking for. I want that final fight. I want it to be awesome, and it's really hard. It just seems like it's really hard for them to get that right with the Batman movies, with the Batman series. And with Michael Keaton coming in to the Batman franchise, I guess, whatever you want to call it, coming back, returning as Batman in this new Flash movie, yeah, I'm pretty much sold on it. Not a big Flash fan of this version of the Flash. I like the TV version better, but it just seems like they just can't get that character right either. So it's more of a feminine Flashe. So we'll see how that goes. But if Michael Keaton's in it as Batman, that's all I need. Most likely, it's just going to be a couple scenes, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I hear he's in the new Batgirl TV series too, so we'll see how all of that goes. But I'm just not a big, you know, gritty Batman fan. I don't want my superheroes, my comic book heroes. I don't want all of that to mix in with real life. I love, the larger than life aspect of it. That's what I love about pro wrestling, larger than life. That I don't really like the grittiness, the dark, the raw, where it has to be grounded in reality. Reality is already tough. I use movies, superhero movies, pro wrestling as an escape from that. And there's a lot of mixing with that. So I think my favorite superhero movies, my favorite movies are ones that don't really need to do that. They don't need to go there. Give me a great storyline. Give me a big fight scene. Preferably mini fight scenes is more the better. And then one big fight scene at the very end. And I'm pretty much good to go. So it's hard to watch any of these new movies. Superhero movies are really the only ones that I'll even give a chance. There may be some great movies out there that I'm missing out on. I don't know, but I'm just very, very cautious now with all these superhero movies and everything. The Catwoman, it's not really the Catwoman. It doesn't look like Catwoman. Doesn't have the Catwoman costume. Colin Farrell looks pretty good. I didn't even recognize him. I've seen some of the trailers. He's the Penguin. He's not even really recognizable, but just from what I read about the new Batman movie, it just looks like a big prequel. Just really wasn't too much there. I wasn't really excited about it after reading it. And if it's good, if the movie spoiler is good, I'll get very happy. I read the Spider-Man one. I was like, this is going to be awesome. I bought it, purchased it, and it's one that I will watch over and over again. But I've liked all of these Spider-Man movies, to be honest with you. Some better than others. I think I'm the only one who liked Spider-Man 3, the one with Venom, uh, with the original Spider-Man, Tobey. So I did like that Spider-Man 3. I don't think anyone else that I know did, but I liked it. I always wanted to see Spider-Man and Venom fight, and in this new Spider-Man movie, kind of got a little hint of that. I've not seen any of the Venom movies, but what I saw from Tom Hardy, I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm just not really feeling Tom Hardy as Venom. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that may be another case where they've tried to ground it in reality, and I don't know. That's just not, I'm not a big fan of that. I like Tom Hardy in certain things. Um, he wasn't bad in the Road Warrior remake. I thought he did a great job of copying Mel Gibson's voice. Yeah, if I close my eyes and watch the last Mad Max movie, it's Tom Hardy. It sounds like Mel Gibson. So I think he did a really good job at that. I loved him as Bane. Thought he was really good at that, even though it was a little bit of a different character. He's shorter than what I thought Bane should kind of be, but I think he pulled it off very, very well. And the fight scenes were just awesome. So, but uh, yeah, Tom Hardy as Venom. There's an extra scene at the very end of the latest Spider-Man movie. I'm just like, this is a lot of overacting. I don't really understand what this is. It doesn't remind me of the Eddie Brock, the comic books Eddie Brock. Really, I don't know. So I wasn't really too thrilled about that, but wouldn't mind seeing. And I don't like the Venom voice. Like if that's the voice in the two Venom movies, I don't I don't want to hear it. It sounds like a a retarded demon voice talking with Tom Hardy. And they don't show Venom. They don't show obviously, but it does kind of leave the door open for the symbiote to that controls Venom, that for that to live in the MCU, which to me is like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done just about everything right up until a certain point. I thought they did really, really good. Probably could have ended it at Endgame, or could have probably even ended it at Infinity Wars. That would have been fine. I mean, maybe that's where people end it. I couldn't get into the Captain Marvel movie. I tried. I could not get into the Black Panther movie. I tried. Black Widow, after watching Hawkeye, the Hawkeye TV series, it kind of made my wife and I think, okay, maybe we should, watch the Black Widow movie, and maybe one day we will. But I don't know, not too big on that. But they're not going to get them all right. But Marvel, the MCU, I think has gotten more right than not, and it's done a fantastic job, especially with the four main characters. Phase one was awesome. Phase one, phase two, I think. Phase three all the way up, most of phase three. Excuse me. Whew, that pollen is really kicking in here. I think phase one and phase two were great. Most of phase three, beautiful. And phase four, I don't know. So far, the TV show, some of the TV shows I think are a lot better than the movies. The Eternals. Have you watched the Eternals? I could not even get through it, and that's another one I tried. And there's a lot of action in it, but I just had no idea what was going on, and it was just so slow. I was so bored. I was not invested in the villains, these monsters running around. I wasn't invested in any of the actors. Felt like they were overacting. Everything felt chopped. Nothing felt real. Just it did not feel like some of the other awesome Marvel movies that I've seen, which was very disappointing. So I was very sad about that. But I gave it a chance. I just could not get through it, and maybe one day I'll go back and try to finish the Eternals. Shang-Chi, I thought was okay. Lots of good fighting in there too. Always love it. You get me with the martial arts movie, so they had a lot of good stuff. It took me a while to get invested into the characters, but I definitely did. The villains were good. Especially when you're not really sure if they're villains or super or heroes. The good guys or bad guys. They get me on that too. So it was good. I mean, I wouldn't pay for it, but I was I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad that I watched it or anything. The dragon's pretty cool. I love all that stuff. So graphics were awesome, but pretty good storyline, and definitely some great fighting. A little bit of the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in there, so that was pretty cool. There was a little bit of that I really liked, and that back to that movie. The friend, Shang-Chi's friend, was a little weird. She was a little awkward, but I got used to her, and by the end, I didn't really mind her. Glad to see that character is still there. He's still around. It's basically the Osama bin Laden character from Iron Man 3. Uh, He's the Mandarin, but he's not the Mandarin. He was an actor. He was paid to basically act like he was the Mandarin. It's Osama bin Laden. It's the same type of thing. This big terrorist. It's so it was all right. I was okay with that. And Doctor Strange, I'm a little nervous about. I'm always nervous about time travel movies or multiple dimension movies. Marvel's done a really good job, I think, of pulling that off, changing my mind about some of that stuff. But most of all, um, what is the big? I don't know. What else is the big Marvel? Oh, the Thor. I think the Thor movie is another one that I'm kind of excited for. But I love the superhero stuff. It just takes me away from all this stuff. Plus, it's baseball season. Can't forget about that. And the Oakland A's are off to an okay start. And aside from trading away some of their best players, which they seem to have a habit of doing for some reason, I don't understand it. But that's what they do. So, anyways, just gonna break in here, and I've now reached my destination. So my ramblings and rants will now be over. But I may come back here on my way back home to take the long way home. God bless you all. Thank you all for watching. Till next time.